Okay, so this week's video, I want to revisit the whole sales funnel and marketing funnel with the content that we're creating. So it's more than just scheduling posts or coming up with how many posts that you want to create per week. There should be intentionality and a purpose behind each post. But oftentimes, and even from some of you veteran clients that we've been working with for years, I'm still hearing things like, I still don't know what to say, or I don't know exactly what my value bomb email should be. And so I thought it would be super helpful to dive into, I can't take credit for this. This is from the Alex Hormozi $100 million offer book. It was fascinating to read. And I think we need to just hit pause and recalibrate that. We need to remember that social media is almost like you're interrupting a conversation. It's like going to a networking event where you walk up and you interrupt someone who's in mid conversation. For some, it's like you're blurting out, buy now, buy now. And that's rude. Like people, a lot of times when they get on social, depending on what their intent is while they're on, and it really depends on which platform you're on, but we've got to do a better job of meeting people where they're at with the conversation that they're having in their own head and ultimately the desires that they want. So again, this goes back to really understanding the who. Who are the people that you love to serve, that are the easiest to work with, that if you could put a bullseye around them, they're the most profitable, they're your raving fans, they tell everyone about you, they're easy files, they have great income, great credit. Who is that person? What are the demographics? What are the psychographics? What are their pain points? What are their felt challenges before they even know that there's a possible solution? What is their dream outcome? So before I go into how to set up the landing page with your sales video, which should be in all of your link in bios, I thought it would be helpful to create the perfect value offer proposition, basically the formula that Alex uses, and then also putting a social media lens around it of how it creates unlimited pieces of content for even people who they have told me they suck at creating, like it was really difficult for them to write copy and come up with ideas. But once they see this framework, and it's the very framework that we duplicate, it makes it a little bit easier. And I also share this with you all because this would be a great exercise to do with your referral partners. It could be CPAs, builders, attorneys, you name it. Get a pen and paper. In fact, I will even try to record this at the same time so that y'all can see me write it out. Okay. So let's go. I'm going to call it the value equation. Okay. So here's what I want you to do. First, I'm going to write out the equation, and then I'm going to write out how you could apply this 3-pillar approach to create social media content. Okay. So here's the first part of the equation. Number one, what is the customer's, so again, not yours, but your customer's dream outcome? Okay, multiply that by the perceived, I'm going to scribble that, perceived likelihood of them believing they can achieve it. So of achievement. So let's say that's number 2. And then you're going to put divided by. The goal is you want to increase these. So you really want them to be able to visualize and just articulate it. And some of this will come from the questions that you ask, but the more you can get them to vision and to be able to share that vision and then them being able to actually see themselves achieving it, the better. So here's what's on the bottom. These things you want to actually decrease. So number 3, this would be the time delay, or how long is it going to take with your help to be able to achieve what they want? So obviously the faster this is, the better for most. And then this last one is going to be their level of effort in this and sacrifice. Again, this is from them. So these are the four main components of the value equation. Now, here's how you apply it through a marketing lens to be able to create endless pieces of content. I'm going to call it the three pillars. All right, so I'm going to put what, and then who, which is not going to be what you think, and then when. Oops. Okay, so I'm going to put one. This is going to end up having to be a T-chart, but I don't want to run out of space. I'm going to put dream outcome. Now, you're going to put the opposing on the other side. So just like there could be dream outcome, put 5, nightmare. What if they don't do this? Which this will be part of, I have a 10-step formula, which we'll cover next week, of how to create the perfect like 10-minute sales video that preps all of your calls. So how to take them from being aware and interested in considering your services to then a landing page with a 10-minute video that preps every sales call. Okay, so 2 is the time delay. I'll just do these first. So you have time delay, then you have 3, perceived likelihood of achievement. And then 4 is effort. My handwriting is ridiculous. So again, just like dream outcome, you have the opposite. So time delay, let's do speed. Perceived likelihood of achievement, we'll put risk. And then 8, we'll put ease. So this right here gives you just 8 different windows of different pieces of content you could create. Again, we're just sticking to one ideal client. So let's say it's the single female first-time home buyer. Okay, you need to know the average age, all the demographics, psychographics, but you could create a single piece of content just for these 8 different pillars. You guys with me? You're hanging with me. So that's just the what. Now the who, I want you to think of, it's all the different lenses that people could see based off if they achieve this. So let's say it could be the prospect themselves. So just client. It could be their children. What does the dream outcome from the child's lens look like? Their spouse, coworker. So that's who, and it's really perspective. So it gives you different perspectives based off these 8 different windows, so to speak. And then when is time period. So what I mean by time period is like what we've talked about with the exactly what to say formula with the past, present, future. So what have you currently tried to solve this? And you could literally go through each different who and each different window of the what, present, and then future. What will it feel like once you do achieve this? Tell me what that 5 years from now, 10 years from now. So when you're developing your perfect kind of value equation, what I want you to do for homework is we're going to start with one ideal client. So looking over the last 6 months, we're almost midway through the year. What was the pattern of the type of person that you have helped this year? Was it a move-up buyer? Was it someone downsizing? Were they relocating? Was it a first-time home buyer? I want you to just pick one. And the first thing that I want you to do, again, this is homework, so we're going to finish this list next week, is I want you to write down the single biggest pain point, biggest source of friction for them, as well as their biggest desire, like what was pulling them to want to like finally, whether it was their first home, like what was it that triggered them to actually have courage to contact you? So your first step is identifying your target client for this first scenario. You're going to come up with their single biggest pain point that tends to come up on repeat. Maybe it's affordability and their biggest desire. Then you're going to create a list of just these 4 basic things: their demographics, psychographics, other felt challenges going on and desires that are like sub points to the main felt challenge or pain point as well as desire. And then objections. What are the most common objections you get on repeat or that you often hear from this ideal client? And for some of you, maybe you want to make this more about a partner, like maybe it's a whale that you're going after. This is all focused on, we've got to get really clear on the who. And if you have to use Perplexity AI, guys, to help with this research, like, then do so. If you need to upload your database of everyone who's funded for the year and ask AI to give you these insights, then do that. And then your challenge question that I want you to really, this is going to take some time for you to think about, and I'd like for you to have some thoughtful thought before our call next week, is your power phrase, like why you do what you do in a way that's relevant to that ideal client. So you have homework. The goal is to have an offer that's so irresistible that it would be stupid to say no. Like if you got all the way to the end of the conversation, you're like, the way I see it, you have three options. You can stay renting and doing what you're doing. You could call around to a bunch of different lenders that are all going to have you fill out a loan application, send your income and asset documentation, and then have your credit pulled by who knows how many different people. And then you have all, because of credit alerts, you have all these lines called, like, you make number two sound really ugly. Or three, we jump on a call. This would be in your video, and we schedule a pre-purchase strategy call. You choose to work with us like that. That's basically how you would structure it at the end, but you have to do the buildup. So the first 9 steps of making your offer so irresistible that it would literally be dumb to be like, no, I think I'm going to just wait. So you can have poorer sales skills if you have a stronger offer. The key is how do you differentiate? Because if you're just trying to go off price or service, that's like a race to the bottom. So how is your proprietary framework, your 3-step process for this unique ideal client different? And we're going to target those anchor points in the magic equation that we went over. So do your homework, come back ready next week, and we will finish out these other steps. All right, you have a great day.